This podcast is sponsored by Lightens. Lightens, your best source for OE quality automotive and heavy-duty accessory drive tensioning devices. We know tensioners because we invented them.
Thomas, good morning and welcome to AMN Drivetime, sponsored by our good friends at Lightens.
Thank you, Bill. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're glad to have you. Thomas, as our audience knows, you're the executive director of the University of Aftermarket at Northwood. You are also a professor at Northwood University, and you are also a graduate of Northwood University. And we've got a number of things to go over today, and I think we'll just jump into it if it's okay with you.
Okay. Before we do that, can I just make one comment, Bill?
You may.
So last night on the campus of Michigan State University, there was a tragic event. And just on behalf of Northwood University, I just want to share with the Michigan State community that today we remember their students, we grieve with the Michigan State community, and we collectively mourn with the families who lost students. And as a community, we extend our help and support, and we hope the best for their community.
Thank you, Thomas. Thomas, you've been involved in the aftermarket for 30 years. Last October, you were appointed executive director of the University Aftermarket, which is a pretty darn prestigious role. How does it feel so far?
Great question, Bill. I'm honored and humbled to be in the position. I don't view it as a prestigious appointment. I view it as an opportunity and a space to give back to an industry that has given so much to me. Bill, it's kind of consistent with the Northwood idea and the fact that I share Northwood's values and belief systems. I believe in individual freedom. I believe in the moral law, as in treating others the way I want to be treated. I believe in earned success, that we work hard for what we achieve. And, at Northwood, we are tasked with developing students and leaders who will lead our aftermarket in the future. And so I don't view it as prestige. I view it as a tremendous opportunity, an honor to be involved with Northwood, to lead the University of Aftermarket in a way that is consistent with Northwood's values and beliefs. And I am honored to do so.
So Thomas, as I understand it, you spent time on both the supplier side of the aftermarket as well as distribution. Tell us a little bit about your background, if you would.
All right. So I spent the majority of my career on the distribution side. I was fortunate to spend a few years on the manufacturing side, and then the last 5 with a tire distribution company. So I've been very fortunate to have a very broad-based experience in the aftermarket, which I think contributes to my ability to lead the University of the Aftermarket and to interact with our students. Nothing provides better experience than life. And one of the things that we talk about in the classroom, Bill, is, hey, this is real life aftermarket. Though we use textbooks, we're bringing in industry executives. I'm teaching based on personal experience, and this is real life aftermarket.
And so, Thomas, where did you grow up, and what was your very first job?
Well, I grew up in a little town of Dexter, Michigan, which is just west of Ann Arbor. I got to get this plug in. I grew up a big Michigan football fan and continue to spend my weekends at the big house. Interestingly enough, Bill, my first job was at the Dexter Bakery, um, very well renowned for their chocolate covered donuts. And I would go in and I would start at 4 o'clock in the morning to make the donuts. And it was just a great experience working with folks at a young age, and probably why I still get up early to this day.
And I have to ask, how much did they pay you each hour at the Dexter Bakery?
Oh, you know, I don't even remember. Probably not very much. But the benefits were, the snacks that you can enjoy during your work day.
All the chocolate donuts you can eat.
That's right. That's right.
So, Thomas, your LinkedIn bio describes you as a lifetime learner and someone who is passionate about education. You're in the right spot right now for that, right?
Right.
Where did that spark come from for you?
Came from, as a young adult, I was very active in our church's youth ministries, a Sunday school teacher, but really just following the example of my parents, who both served and were involved and were constantly giving back to the community. So this bill helped me develop that character trait. Um, my parents were always loving and very supportive, and my aspirations, and they encouraged my desire to teach and be involved in the community. But really, the event that sparked the journey that led to where I'm at today, Bill, was I myself was a student at 2.0 leadership here at Northwood. And I was sitting in the classroom across the hall from where I sit today as a student. And I came, Bill, searching for something. I wanted to be that leader. I wanted to be that individual that gave back. And I was sitting and I was listening to Dr. John Passante. And he was sharing his vision of leadership. And I said to myself, sitting in that classroom that day, I want that for myself. I want to be that type of leader. I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to the industry. I want to make a difference. And from that day, I walked out of that classroom determined that I was going to go on this journey as an adult to earn my undergrad degree, pursue a master's, pursue a doctorate, so then I could give back to the community and the industry.
So, Thomas, you've had now 4 or 5 months, you started in October, to settle in to a degree at Northwood. Have you developed any specific goals, hopes, or plans for the University of the Aftermarket?
Well, yes. So my first goal, Bill, is to be the #1 aftermarket leadership development program in the country, bar none. This is the motivation that's driving me. And as I look to develop curriculum for the University of the Aftermarket, that is my benchmark. So as I look to revitalize Aftermarket 101 and Heavy Duty 2.0 and Leadership 2.0, those flagship programs for the University Aftermarket that are well renowned and that can carry a tremendous brand. How do I develop those programs back again to my values and beliefs to make a difference, to contribute to the industry, to give back to the industry, to develop leaders who understand a free market society, who understands what it takes to be successful in our industry, and help those students create the contacts and the relationships that they need to be successful. That is what motivates me for this program to be amazing. And even in the classroom, Bill, I encourage my students to listen. Northwood students are set apart. Northwood students raise the bar. And Northwood students make a difference. So in the classroom, that's what motivates me. In the industry, in the UofA, that is what also motivates me to design curriculum that will help our industry professionals have desire to give back, but prepare them to contribute to our industry.
So, as a follow-up to that, Thomas, in your opinion, what does or what will make the University of the Aftermarket, what will give you the unique selling proposition as you are attracting students to join the University of the Aftermarket, as well as when your students are out upon graduation looking for career opportunities?
Great question. And I think I would answer that by saying we have to go back to our roots. We have to go back to what made the University of the Aftermarket historically great. And the programs that we run and the educational forums that we participate in to really contribute to our industry, to provide recognition through our ACP, our AAP, and our MAAP designations, to revitalize those programs, to make them meaningful again to our industry and to the students. Transition and the pandemic contributed to a little bit of a disconnect. And my approach is being determined to reconnect with the industry, reconnect with the industry executives that have a voice, and really collaborate with them on the highest level to make our programs as meaningful as they possibly can be.
Thomas is a longtime aftermarket person and very familiar with Northwood for decades, right? I've been in this business forever. That's great to hear. And I think that the industry would welcome that deep engagement and participation by Northwood.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. And believe me, I don't sit here and even remotely pretend that I have all the answers. But I am so grateful for a community and a group of folks that have supported me over my career in the industry, that have come beside me, to walk beside me, and to encourage and to offer insight. And for those individuals, and they know who they are, and I would love to start listing names, but I won't do that. But those folks know who they are. I am forever grateful. And our students will benefit, and our industry will benefit from the collaboration.
So as you think about your education programs, it's obviously important for you guys to have a feel, or what you feel are the biggest challenges the aftermarket faces over the next several years to prepare everybody. So how can industry education support professionals in managing through these challenges ahead?
Well, certainly our coursework has to mirror the challenges that our industry faces. our coursework has to provide answers and give a platform and a direction of how we actively solve our challenges. There's a lot of things out there right now, Bill. We have the right to repair, which boils down to the freedom of choice. We have the EV movement and how our manufacturers are going to respond to a different VIO and different opportunities to provide product that is unique and different than what they currently provide. Sustainability in our industry is real and a challenge that our industry has to embrace. So as we identify those challenges, or how I like to refer to them as opportunities, cybersecurity and supply chain issues and the economy, man, where's that going with interest rates and all of those things? Our education platforms have to support developing leaders who can transition those opportunities.
So, Thomas, before we let you go, we have a tradition on AMN Drivetime, and we call it Lightning Round. And I'm going to ask you half a dozen questions or so, and you have to pick one of two options. Okay?
Okay.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Beatles or the Stones?
Beatles.
Cash or contactless?
Contactless.
Phone call or a text message?
Phone call, definitely.
Favorite season to enjoy the great state of Michigan?
Summer.
The best place to watch a U of M football game?
In the big house.
Your favorite cultural institution in Ann Arbor? Is that the big house also?
Yes. No. The quad on the University of Michigan campus is awesome, and just a place that allows me to reflect and gather my thoughts.
Best place to take out-of-town guests when they come to Ann Arbor?
Oh, goodness. Lots of dynamic golf courses.
Last one. Best hamburger in Ann Arbor?
Sava's.
Terrific. Thomas, it's been great to have you on AMN Drivetime, sponsored by our friends at Lightens.
It's been a pleasure to be here, Bill. And I just want to close with a personal mission of mine, and that is I always pray to have eyes that see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in God. If I could just promote my personal brand.
Thanks for being with us, Thomas.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure and an honor.
This podcast is sponsored by Lightens. Lightens, your best source for OE quality automotive and heavy-duty accessory drive tensioning devices. We know tensioners because we invented them.